Mr. President, this is a Justice Secretary confused about his law school memory on how due process works. Accuse only after you investigate. In so many ways, and in all sense of the phrase, the President's men have stood up the world on its head. It is time to put the world back on its feet. Binaligtad na po nila lahat ng kwento tungkol sa maganda nating nagawa sa DOJ ni wala pa palang investigasyon. But despite this, I'm still giving the Solicitor General, the Speaker, and the Secretary of Justice the benefit of the doubt. It is possible that they are merely being peddled these lies about me by agents of vengeance. Pakiusap ko lang sana ay bago nila paniwalaan ang mga kasinungalingan ng mga nasagasaan ko noon, ay suriin muna nila ang mga karakter at motibasyon ng mga taong ito. Huwag naman sana silang basta-basta na lang humusga at patungan ako ng cardboard at balutin ng packing tape. Mr. President, my only defense is my honor and my integrity. This well-oiled social media operation intends to take that away from me. In the eyes of the people, they've already succeeded to a great extent. They project me as an enemy of this administration, that I am calling for an investigation of drug killings because I am a drug lord cuddler, that I am against the war on drugs because I am protecting the drug trade. I cannot stay silent in the face of all these blatant lies created in the backroom of a media strategy office suite. I will not fall without a fight. I will not go into that good night without nary a whimper, while all these misguided men use the President's war against drugs as their platform to destroy any elected public official who dares question the methods by which this war is waged. I will not surrender my mandate as a senator of the Republic to these unelected and unaccountable personalities whose own motivations in the demolition of my person is highly questionable and utterly despicable. I cannot let these men run this demolition outfit only for them to accomplish their own personal and political agendas, to curry favor with the President, and to get a larger share of the spoils of executive power. Napagsasamantalahan nila ang bawat pagkakataon sa ngalan ng ambisyon at pansariling interes. Hindi natin pwedeng hayaan na magpatuloy ang grupong ito sa hangarin nilang siraan ang lahat ng balakid sa kanilang ambisyon sa kapangyarihan gamit ang kanilang pagkamalapit sa Pangulo ng ating bansa. Ang tanong lang naman nila sa sarili nila ay, what are we in power for? They generate acclamation or foment fear, whichever works for them. Mr. President, they're doing this to a sitting senator. This is not only an attack against me, but against any senator who dares to be outspoken. Pagkatapos ko, sino po ang isusunod sa inyo na mangahas na tumiwalag sa kanilang marcha, na hindi sasayaw sa kanilang marcha or sa kanilang musika? That is why, ultimately, this is an attack on the Senate as an independent institution. We cannot let anyone use the misfortune of this nation in this drug crisis to advance personal or political agendas. We cannot let anyone use the drug crisis we are now facing to silence all dissenting voices. If we let anyone do this, there will be no single voice left to warn us of our backslide to the depths of barbarity. We do not want a situation where not a single dissenter is left to remind the people that they have just traded the drug crisis with another one, the crisis of our failed humanity as a nation. We cannot go on being indifferent to the daily executions without ultimately becoming a nation bound by a collective sociopathy. The day has already come and we can no longer tell who is morally wrong among us. The 9-year-old street child sniffing rugby, or the policeman who shoots the child in the head for sniffing rugby. This is our descent as a nation into the darkness that these men have created for us. Of course, we must face this drug crisis as a nation. So many have already fallen as victims, both in the number of drug users and in the number of ruined families. Yes, Mr. President, indeed, we must wage this war against drugs. But there must be another way. There has to be another way. There must be a way other than this method that brings us to our collective descent into impunity, fear, and ultimately utter and complete inhumanity. We cannot wage the war against drugs with blood. We will only be trading drug addiction with another more malevolent kind of addiction. And this is the compulsion for more killings that have now included even the innocent. There are now more mistaken identities and collateral damage, and the proportion is rising. And why is the proportion of collateral damage rising? Mr. President, impunity, once unleashed, has no boundaries. It does not care who dies. It does not care who suffers. It does not care who the victims are. Impunity has no sense of right or wrong. It is as amoral as it is immoral. As a human rights advocate and human being, I plead to the government, this administration, and to the president. There must be another way. There has to be another way. We must find another way. I fully support the war on drugs, and I sincerely desire its success. I am one with the president in his relentless and sustained campaign to rid our country of the drug menace. Nais ko lang na ang ating mga pulis at iba pang law enforcement agents ay maging totoong mga alagad ng batas, na sumusunod sila sa batas habang pinaiiral ito, na tumatalima sila sa mga patakaran at pamantayan sa pagsugpo ng krimen at pagdakip sa mga nagkasala, na isinasaalang-alang nila ang pangingibabaw ng batas sa kanilang pagtupad sa tungkulin. And my concern is not only the killings tallied by the PNP as a formal law enforcement agency. At least we can put the PNP to task in our official legislative investigations. My gravest concern lies with the vigilantes of the night now operating almost all over the country. Those harbingers of death spreading the apocalypse of our dehumanization. They match with vigor the killings carried out with the official PNP. And these people we cannot serve with the summons of the Senate. They are faceless. They are unaccountable. The Philippine National Police reported 395 alleged offenders killed in alleged police operations from July 1 to August 1. The daily average is as high as 13 dead during the past 1 month of the current administration. And higher figures are even reported by certain media outlets. And that's now being flashed. Those are now being, the figures are being flashed on the screen. I am not saying that all of the killings are summary executions, but there are telltale signs that several are. A number of complaints were already filed with the Commission on Human Rights. On top of these are the vigilantes carrying out an ersatz kind of justice, cardboard justice. It is reported that as of July 29, 259 human beings were killed in the hands of these assassins, 7 of them bystanders or victims of mistaken identity. Let's see some specific cases. At late night of July 21, in a Malabon City Public Cemetery, shot dead were 5, including a mother and her son who were then celebrating his birthday. The unidentified men who sprayed bullets on the group left a cardboard sign that tagged them collectively as drug pushers. The local police, whose outpost stood only about 30 meters from the massacre site,